Assalamualaikum bachcho. Let's go through a few past paper questions regarding everyday mathematics. Read the question very thoroughly and carefully because major part of these questions is comprehension. John opened a bank account. He deposited $800 in his account. The account pays simple interest at the rate of 5% per year. Calculate the total amount after 3 years. Please make sure you write everything down before using your calculator. The first thing you do is calculate your simple interest. Remember, this way you calculate the simple interest, not the entire amount. What is the principal? 800, the rate is 5, the time is 3 years. Make sure that the time you plug in is in years. Be careful about this. So what is the interest then? $120. The interest is $120. Remember, this is the interest. The question is asking us the amount. Amount is principal plus interest. The original amount of money, which is 800 plus the interest. So the amount after 3 years he has is $920. I am telling you, for these questions, read the question carefully because the major part of these questions is comprehension. Calculations are relatively easy. Okay. Two telephone companies have different ways of charging their customers. Remember, now this statement is for B. For the entire part B, this statement will be valid. The first part says Michael uses company A, which charges 6 cents for each unit or part unit of time. A unit of time is 200 seconds. What does that mean? Understand this. How do they charge this? Or if a phone company is charging you per minute, if you talk for 3 minutes, they'll charge you for 3 minutes. If you talk for 3 minutes and 2 seconds, they will charge us for 4 minutes, not 3 minutes, 2 seconds, because they are charging us per minute. So understand this thing, that this company is charging us for every 200 seconds. If we talk for 205 seconds, they will not charge us for 205 seconds. No, the unit is 200. They will charge us for 400 seconds. उनका unit ही 200 seconds है. 200 seconds is one single unit of time. सही है? He makes a call lasting 1 hour and 22 minutes. Calculate the cost of his call. So there are many ways to do these questions. One of the approaches is you find the number of seconds that you have, the duration of the call. How do you find the duration of the call? 1 hour and 22 minutes. So 1 hour, you can convert it into seconds. 1 hour is 60 minutes. So this is 82 minutes. Is that right? You convert 82 minutes into seconds. How many seconds do you get? 4,920 seconds. Is this clear? Now you divide how many units of time are there. How do you find the units of time? 4920 will be divided by 200. 200 seconds is one single unit. For example, if you would have talked for 400 seconds, those would have been 2 units. For 600 seconds, that would have been 3 units and so on. So how many units do you have? 24.6. So will they charge you for 24.6 units? 25 units you will be charged for. And each unit costs 6 cents. So 25 into 6, which is 150 cents. Or if you convert it into dollars, that is divided by 100 now. $1.50. Is this clear? Understand it. We are not. Why are we rounding it off? Even if the units were 24.1, the company would be charging us for 25, वो कोई लो राउंडिंग ऑफ नहीं करेंगे. The moment you start a next unit, then you charge for the entire unit. It's very basic, logical, common sense. Read the question. I constantly stress on reading the question again and again to understand how to comprehend it. Okay, class. Norman uses company B. Now, how does company B charge? 5 cents for each of the first 400 units. The charge for each additional unit is reduced by 1/4. There is also a fixed charge of $27 for the use of the equipment. He's charged for 629 units. Calculate correct to the nearest cent the total sum of money that he has to pay. Step by step break karte hain. What is the sum of money that he will has to pay even if he uses one single unit? $27 is the fixed cost. वो तो उसको देनी है. So that will be added to the total sum in the end. Is that right? Okay, now how many units does he use? 629 units he uses. Out of those 629, the first 400 were charged for 5 cents. So let's calculate the cost of first 400 units. That will be 400 into 5, which is 2000 cents, or if you convert it into dollars, $20. Then the cost of the remaining units. Very good. 229 units remain. And what is the charge for those 229 units? The charge is reduced by 1/4. If something is reduced by 1/4, how much do you need to pay? If something is reduced by 1/4, how much do you need to pay? If you go to a shop and you get a 20% discount, how much do you need to pay? 80%, because that is a percentage. In fraction, what is the total? 1. So if 1 may say 1/4 you have been reduced for, then how much do you need to pay? 1/4. What is a quarter? 3/4. 3/4. If 1/4 has been reduced, you still need to pay 3/4. 3/4 of what? 3/4 of 5. Is that right? This is the new cost. This is the cost for the next 229 units. How did we get this cost? 5 the charge था, उसमें से 1/4 of 5 was reduced. So 3/4 of 5 अब pay करना है for every unit. And how many units were charged in this way? 229 units. Is this clear? So simplify this. Tell me, what do you get? Remember, you have the calculators. You can use the calculators. Use it smartly. Three-fourth of 5. 229 were the units. This is the cost of 1 unit. New cost of 1 unit. Is this clear or not? 5 cents was the cost of initial cost of 1 unit. Now that has been reduced by 1/4. So you still need to pay 3/4 of 5 now for every unit, right? What is this cost? 58.75. Okay, 858.75 cents. If I convert it into dollars, then divided by 100, convert it to the nearest cent. Now you do not need to round it off to it. You can say $8.59. Why 60? 5875 है ना? Converted 8 पहले लिख देता हूँ 8.5875 है. Now if you round it off, the question says rounded off to the nearest cent. So that will be 8.59 cent, $8.59. Cents से अगर dollars में करते हैं तो you divide by 100. So dollars में आ गए. The question says rounded off to the nearest cent. So total cost is 27 plus 20 plus 8.59. What does that become? Point. The question is saying rounded off to the nearest cent. Nearest cent का क्या मतलब होता है? This is 1 cent. So that is इसी तरह छोड़ना है. This is your answer. You're not supposed to round up further. If you were breaking it down, you will say $55.59. Is this clear? Let's do another question. Okay, this is the high weightage question. This is the second part. So please understand the first part so that the company sells the chocolate bars to shops. Pichla sawal chocolate bars was related to menstruation for $0.70 each bar. The company makes 40% profit on each bar it sells. Work out the cost to the company of producing each bar. Again, many ways to attempt this question. One of them is I can say that for company, the selling price is 140% of cost price. Agreed or not? Because the percentage profit is always applied to the cost price. So you buy something at a certain cost and then you address profit at that particular percentage. So if you are able to develop these equations, that will help you very much in even the difficult questions. So the selling price is equals to 140% of cost price. Which ones do I know? I know the selling price 0.7 लिख दिया. 140% is 140 upon 100. Cost price I do not know, or I can write it as 0.7. 140 upon 100 is 1.4. 1.4 is multiplying and it goes on the other side, it divides. Is this clear, class? That is $0.50. Is this clear? Another way of doing this question is 100%. I do not know that, but I do know that 140% is 0.7. Same thing. You do not know the original cost, which is the 100% of itself. 140% is 0.7, and then you get 100 into 0.7 is 140x. And again, profit is always applied to the original cost price. If you have 10% profit, the selling price is 110% of cost price. If you have 12% profit, the selling price is 112% of cost price. बिल्कुल, क्योंकि the cost price वो खुद तो अपना 100% है ना. Is this clear or not? This is the best way to attempt these questions. Yes, you can find other ways as well. Now, please read this question. This is a 5-mark question, the next part. So you need to understand the comprehension. A shop, now they're talking about a shop, remember, buys 1 carton of chocolate bars. How much did the bar cost? पहले तो ये बात बताओ मुझे. It's in synchrony. The company sells it for $0.7 each bar. A shop buys 1 carton of chocolate bars. So every bar is $0.7 for the shop. So now $0.7 becomes the cost price for the shop. Take your time, understand it. The company, the factory sells it for $0.7. The shop buys it for $0.7, obviously. So the $0.7 has now become the cost price for the shop. Every bar, and there is a carton, so there are many bars. I do not know how many bars there are. Let's see if the question tells us or not. They sell 3/5 of the bars at a profit of 30%. They sell each of the remaining bars at $0.84. Calculate the overall percentage profit made by the shop from selling all 80 bars. How many bars were there in the carton? 80. So let's calculate the cost first. सही है. Shop को cost कितनी पड़ी? How will we do that? 0.7 will multiply by, very good, but it will multiply by 80. So this is the cost to the shop for all the bars. Is this clear now? And they were sold at different schemes. The first one said 3/5 of the bars at a profit of 30%. So can you tell me how many bars were sold at a profit of 30%? 3/5 of 80. 3/5 of 80 is? नहीं, पहले तो 3/5 of the bars were sold ना, तो पता तो चले कितने bars इस rate नहीं आ सकता. Impossible. 3/5 of 80, 48. So these 48 bars were sold at 30% profit. So can I say for these 48 bars, selling price is equal to, या profit ही निकालना है ना, profit ही निकाल. Profit is equals to 30% of cost price. Agreed or not? I am not finding the selling price now. I am rather directly finding the profit. Why am I doing so? Because I've read the question. The question specifically wants the profit. So why should I find the selling price? I should just figure out the profit. Profit is 30% of cost price. 30% of, not 56, उससे सेलिंग प्राइस आती, फिर माइनस करना पड़ता कॉस्ट प्राइस से 130% करके, फिर प्रॉफिट निकालना पड़ता. It depends on the data in the question. If the question is linking selling and cost price directly, then we go over there. If the question is asking us the profit, so then we relate it with the profit. So 30% of cost price. What is the cost of these 48 bars? 0.7 into 48. Is that right? बात समझ आ रही है बेटे या नहीं आ रही? You could have also found the selling price. इस तरह से भी कर सकते थे. No worries. But if you directly want to find the price, cost price of all 56 की थोड़ी वो, all $56 is not the cost price now. अब सिर्फ इन 48 बार्स की बात हो रही है ना, तो इस पे कितना प्रॉफिट मिला ये हमें मिल जाएगा. कितना आ रहा है बताओ. Remember, this is a profit only, $10.08. Remaining, how many bars remain? 80 minus 48. Right? If each bar was bought at 0.7, and sold at 0.84. Can you tell me the profit from every bar? 0.7 pay, the bar was bought, was sold at 0.84. So what is the profit of every bar? Yes. What is the profit from the remaining 32 bars? Remember, we are only focused on the profit. Yes, bacho. 7 point. So total profit is, which is, I hope you haven't done, I'm trusting you with the values. So percentage profit is found by taking profit divided by cost, 200. Profit is 17.76, divided by cost was 56. Sorry, again, I'm trusting you with the values. 0.14. Yeah, I always tell you people to calculate the values on your own. If someone tells me a wrong value, what is the profit then? 32 into 0.14 is 4.48. And the total profit is 14.56. What is the percentage profit then? Make sure you're right. You're writing every step down, because if you're only using the calculator, it will get you nowhere. Exact 26. So 26% is the overall percentage profit. This is another class. I'm not just solving the questions. साथ साथ all important formulae भी मैं बताता जा रहा हूँ. Try to understand it. If you're focused on memorizing these formulae, trust me, you'll have a very hard time with your mathematics paper. Understand it. All of these are very basic, logical, common sense formulae. Now read this question, please. Again, it is a 5-mark question, a higher order everyday mathematics question, a question which was difficult for the majority of the students, so I'll help you solve it. Jacob invests $750 in an account that pays 2.1% simple interest per year. Mary invests $750 in an account that pays P% per year compound interest. They each leave the money in their account for, at the end of 5 years, there is the same amount of money in each account. Calculate the value of P. So I do not know the value of P. Please be very careful. ये इसी तरह का सवाल बिल्कुल recent paper में भी दोबारा आया, and students were unable to do this even after having the calculators. So what is the question telling us? That दोनों का जो total amount है वो eventual same होता है. First, let's talk about Jacob. Can you calculate the interest? Please write it down. ये बाद में वरना steps ही नहीं समझ आती. You are unable to understand what to do in the paper, and you believe that you have done the entire question in the calculator, you must get marks. You won't. Method marks are depending on the method and the clarity of the method. So interest is PR, simple interest. What is the principal? 750. What is the rate? 2.1. What is the time? Be careful that the time you use is also per year if the interest is also per year upon 100. Can you tell me the simple interest and tell me the exact value? 17. Okay, 78.75. Is this the exact value without any rounding off? This is an interest. So can you tell me the amount that he has, which is principal plus interest? Amount can be for 750 was his principal plus interest is 78 point. So this is the total amount that he has. Mary will have the same amount after 5 years. Agreed or not? Can we agree on this? Right? But Mary has compound interest. There is some algebraic manipulation that will be involved. So try to understand. Not algebraic, basically numeric manipulation. And equation operations on an equation is what we'll be focused on. Okay, now this is about Jacob. We know that this is an amount that will be in Mary's account at the end of 5 years. In compound interest, we do not tend to find interest separately. Rather, we use a formula which finds, we समझा पीछे को कहाँ से आया, लेकिन कोई बात नहीं, दोबारा समझ लेंगे. This is what we use to find the amount after n years. If the amount is after 5 years and the rate is also 5 per year, so we use R and N, दोनों consistent होने चाहिए. Both are per year, both are per month, or both are per quarters. Be careful about it. So I know the amount after 5 years. What is the amount after 5 years? 828.75. What is the principal? 750. What is the rate? P. And how many years? 5. If you have not written this step down, you will not be able to stand further. Yes. Is this clear or not? This is just some very basic value plugging in that we have done. 5 years, N was 5 years, amount after 5 years we know. Whenever you're using formula, understand that there are both sides to it, left and right. You know, बच्चे सिर्फ right पे focus करते हैं, they often tend to forget that there is a left side as well. Now understand each step carefully and remember, you are not the one who has to do the calculations in this one. Which tool will you use to calculate? The calculator. So why worry about calculating, right? You can give the most difficult task to the calculators to calculate, and if it can, it will calculate it for. Is that right? So we don't have to go through the headache of calculating difficult values in this one. We just have to be smart about using the exact values. We don't have to round off all the decimal places and everything. Is this clear? Okay, now what should we do first? The very first step. 750 is multiplying, it goes on the other side and it divides. Can I leave it as it is? Because I'm not the one who has to do this. The calculator has to do this. Is this right? Why should I worry? I can just put this entire value in the calculator. Now, P is inside and there is a power 5. How do I remove this power 5? No. If I need to remove a square, what do I do? Square root. If I need to remove a cube, what do I do? Cube root on both sides. If I need to remove power 5, fifth root on both sides. Absolutely right. So we will use a fifth root. Remember, when you're using it in the calculator, be very careful that you put a root on the entire thing. Is equals to, or you can say power 1 over 5 भी उधर आप लगा सकते हैं. 1 plus p upon 100 to the power 5 and fifth root. Is this clear, class? So fifth root लगा के I do not have to worry right now. This entire thing is as it is. I'll show you in the calculator as well how to do this. Just bear with me. 1 plus p upon 100. 1 is adding over here. It goes on the other side and it subtracts. Now you can put the entire thing in the calculator and be very smart about using a calculator. I'll show you how this is done. See, you take the fifth root, shift करके fifth root या power 1/5 से भी this all of this could have been done. Shift करके you press this and then you say a fraction 828.75 divided by 7. खुद ही the calculator says and डाल के -1. Right, this is a value, write it down, 0.02017. 0.02017 will multiply by 100 to give me P, which is 2.02. Question says 2 decimal places. Is this clear, class? हमारा लिखने में मसला हो जाता है, डेसिमल 4-4-5 डेसिमल हम लिखते हैं. राउंडिंग ऑफ में कभी कभार वी टेंड टू मेक मिस्टेक, गलत राउंडिंग ऑफ कर देते हैं. तो जस्ट टू अवॉइड दैट एंड वी डोंट हैव टू वरी अबाउट द कैलकुलेशंस, डू वी? So let it be as it is. Is this clear? Let's do another of these questions. This way you will understand the concept of compound interest as well and percentages as well. Okay, class. Read the question first. Anya has $300 to invest in her savings account for 3 years. Account A, what does it do? Year 1, 1.1% interest. Year 2, 1.2% interest added to end of year 1 total. So year 2, the interest that you are getting is not on your principal. It is on the total amount that you have after the first year. Year 3, you are getting the interest on the total amount that you have at the end of second year. This is also compound interest and this is compound interest. What is compound interest? में हमारे interest और principal दोनों add होके उस पर percentage interest हमें मिलता है. But the difference is इसमें compound interest का rate different है. We cannot use the formula, that the basic generic formula that we have. And what about account B? उसमें भी compound interest है, but the rate of compound interest is fixed. इसमें वो formula हम use कर सकते हैं. So try to understand how do we calculate compound interest. सही है? Okay, account A and account B. Amount at the end of first year is, observe now, I will explain, principal plus 1.1% of principal. Is this right or wrong? Is this right or wrong? Amount at the end of first year is the principal and the interest, which is 1.1% of principal. This will help you understand the concept of percentages as well. It will review the concept of percentages. Is this agreed or not? So this can be simplified to 101.1% of principal. Principal itself is 100% of itself. उसमें उसी का 1.1% अगर डाल दिया तो 101.1% of principal. Is this agreed? हाँ? रीड पहले तो दोनों अकाउंट्स को देखो करना क्या. The principal is $3,000. बढ़ेगा, अब ईयर 2 में जाएंगे अभी। बिल्कुल, परसेंटेज भी बढ़ रहा है, अमाउंट भी बढ़ रहा है, दोनों बढ़ रहा है। इसलिए बात को समझो, अभी मैंने आई हैव नॉट कैलकुलेटेड एनीथिंग, आई हैव जस्ट कैलकुलेटेड द अमाउंट at the end of the first year. That is all that I've done. How did I find that amount? Principal plus 1.1 percent of principal. ये interest है हमारा. Is that right or wrong? If you are unable to understand this, you will not understand further steps. Amount 1 is the amount at the end of the first year. Makes sense? Understood? Huh? Sorry? Principal itself is 100% of itself. उसमें प्रिंसिपल का ही 1.1% when you added, ये तो खुद अपना 100% था ना। प्रिंसिपल के साथ कहना है राइट 100% ऑफ प्रिंसिपल, उसमें उसी का 1.1% जब ऐड हो गया, so that becomes 101.1%. Is this clear? Now observe. Amount at the end of second year is amount at the end of first year plus can we agree on this, or is it something that you haven't understood? हाँ तक क्लियर है नहीं है पहले बताओ. So this can be simplified to 101.2% of A1. अब what do students tend to do? They find A1, इतनी बड़े-बड़े decimal place पे ढूंढते हैं, फिर यहाँ plug in करते हैं. I directly, बहुत आसान हो जाएगा अभी, don't worry. This is just to help you understand. So confused नहीं होना please. I'm making all of this effort to help you understand the concept of percentages and how do we apply percentages to certain quantities. Agreed or not? A1 is a quantity. I can find this quantity in a second by using a calculator. I know the principal, I know the percentages, I know everything. Is this clear or not? Bilkul. Bilkul. Again, it will help us understand the and A2 plus 1.4. Can I summarize it to? अभी सब कुछ बहुत आसान हो जाएगा, डोंट वरी. नहीं परसेंटेजेस ऐड नहीं हो रही, परसेंटेजेस मल्टीप्लाई होंगी और से देख. A2 की जगह कैन आई राइट 101.4% ऑफ. I know it looks quite messy, but trust me, once you get your understanding level to this point, it will help you solve difficult percentage questions as well. So A3 is, which is the amount after first year, is 101.4%, 101.2%, 101.1% of the principal, which is $3,000. And simplifying it more to help you with the calculator, putting those decimal places 1.014, 1.012. Sorry. 1.4% is already provided in the question, the third year interest percentage. 101 पॉइंट, अमाउंट वन खुद अपना 100% है, उसमें अमाउंट वन का ही when you add 1.2%, that becomes 101.2% of amount one. Now you can directly put this entire thing in the calculator, and in a single step you'll get your answer. No rounding off required, nothing difficult calculations required. If you understand the concept of, I've just broken it down for you so that you understand the entire thing. Yes. Tell it to correct to 2 decimal place. 3.3637 हो गया ना. Now account B तो fixed rate है, amount after n years is principal 1 plus amount after 3 years principal is 3000, 1 plus rate is 1.3. इसमें तो कोई मुश्किल है ही नहीं. Smartly put this in your calculator. 3000 bracket 1 plus 1.3 upon 100 to the power 3118.53. So which account, decide which account she chooses and find the amount she will have in her account at the end of 3 years. So which account should she choose? Account A or B? Account B, and the amount that she will have is this. Is this clear or not? Is this clear, class? One more question. Okay, let's have a look at another question. The crash price of a car is $13,000. Marta pays in installments for this car. Marta pays a deposit of 15% of the cash price. This is also called down payment. The initial amount that you pay is also called down payment. So how much down payment does she do? 15% of the cash price. Calculate the total amount that Marta pays. So first let's calculate the down payment. It is the initial amount that you pay, which is 15% of, yes, so 15% is 15 upon 100, or how else can I simplify 15%? 0.15. Calculator putting के लिए सबसे आसान है 13,000. So what is the down payment then? Sorry, 1950. And the amount paid in installments, she paid 24 monthly installments of $500. So 24 into 500 is so the total amount that she has to pay is 12,000 plus 1950, which is 13,950. Obviously, the cash price was lesser, that was $13,000. So she had to pay $950 extra. Okay, class, let's have a look at part B. The price of a phone is reduced by 12% in a sale. The sale price of the phone is $286. जिसको मार्क प्राइस कहते हैं, सवाल वो पूछ रहे, कहना है से सेल प्राइस इज वेरी गुड 88% ऑफ द मार्क प्राइस. Do I know the sale price? 88% को how do I write in decimal? 0.88 and mark price I do not know. So 286 upon. Can you tell me the value? Read the question. $304.2 5 हो गया. The exchange rate between dollars and pounds is this. The exchange rate between euros and pounds is this. Calculate the exchange rate between dollars and euros. So the question is asking us $1. I need to know how much is $1 in euro. I've told you people you can use this method as well. Dollar को euro में करना है. Dollar नीचे. I do not know the direct conversion from dollar to euro. I will go to pound. So $1 is how many pounds? 0. Right now I'll get my answer in pounds. I'll repeat the step. Pounds niche and euro. And what is the basic conversion? 1 euro is 0.87 pounds. So what is the answer that I get? 0.71 upon 0.87 में आ गया. And this is euro. So $1 is how many euros? 82. Which one? ये 325. Okay. Again मुझे नहीं पता ना values तो तुम लोग मुझे बता. Values पे तो I trust you people. If there is a wrong value, please correct it. Just one last part बच्चों. Just one last part. Extremely sorry, लेकिन ये last part है. Okay. Samuel invests $1,500 in an account, paying compound interest. Nina leaves $1,500. They each leave their amount for 5 years. So अगर Samuel का मैं निकाल रहा हूँ, so amount after 5 years मुझे चाहिए. Principal is 1,500. 1 plus 1.9 upon 100. What is the amount after 5 years? And Nina का interest निकालूंगा मैं. PRT. P is 1,500. Rate is 1.9. And time is 5. Yes, class. Can you tell me the amount? Class. What is the amount after 5 years? What is the amount after 5 years? $1648.02. And for the next one, PRT is 1500 into rate is 1.9 times 5 upon 100 and then plus 1642.5. So we can say that Samuel has 1648.02 minus 165 $5.52. Is this clear, class?